Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Antonio Neves, and it is my mission to help you rediscover what makes you great so you can start living courageously today. Now, something I like to do every now and then is to read obituaries. You know, that 1, 2, or 5 paragraph description of someone after they have died. You can read this in a Sunday newspaper, or these days you can just read it online. And typically, after I read an obituary, I experience one of two things. So one is, wow, this person was amazing, they were fascinating, they were loved, they lived a fantastic life. And then on the flip side, I'll read an obituary and I'll kind of be like, okay. But the question that always comes up is, would I have wanted to know this person while they were alive? Would I have wanted to know this person while they were alive? In many ways, what we're talking about is legacy. And when I think about just life in general, it's pretty straightforward when you think about it. We're born and we die, and then we have a whole bunch of different stuff we can do in between. You're born, you die, and then we have all of this right here. Because you're watching this video, because I'm making this video, this is what we're experiencing right now. This stuff in the middle. So the question I have for you watching this is, how's it going? How's everything going so far in this life? If your obituary is halfway through, how is that story that's being told? How is that legacy that you are or are not building going? Well, if you struggle to answer this question like a lot of people do, or you don't really take it serious, what I want to do is give you some perspective. And we're going to do a brief exercise that can give you some perspective. I got to warn you in advance, this is, what's it called, a trigger warning. Just This may hit you a little bit, okay? First thing I want you to do is to get a piece of paper or get your phone out. And what you're going to do is write down the year that you were born. And then what you're going to do is put a dash after it. And then what you're going to do is add the number 80 to the year that you were born. So let's do an example, 1980. Say you're born in 1980, you write down 1980, you put a dash, then you add the number 80 to the first number. So that'd be 2060. So it'd be 1980-2060. And you can look at whatever yours is. Whatever you see right there in front of you, those two numbers, that last one is going to be typically the year that you are going to die. Based on U.S. population information, most people live roughly 80 years. But that more than likely is going to be the year that you are dying. Sure, you may live a lot longer and you may live shorter, but just based on data, that's where you're going to die. This is your lifespan. As you look at that, how does that make you feel? Now, I know for some people, what you're probably going to want to do right now is press pause, go outside, and yell in the woods. And that's cool. I invite you to do so. But my hope for all of you when you do this exercise is you look at that, and what it does is it gives you some perspective, and it tells you and it reminds you that I have all of this to play with. Whether that's 50 years, whether that's 10 years, whether that's 20 years, etc., you have all of this to play with. My hope for all of us is that we are willing to live a life worth living. My hope for all of us when we do an exercise like this, it gets us excited to live a life that when we do meet the end, that someone will read our obituary and they will say, man, I really wish I knew that person. They sound fascinating. What a legacy. They lived an amazing life. But even more important than that, I hope what this exercise does for you is that it gives you the opportunity to start living the way you want to live. So right now, people will say, not I wish I would have known, but they're like, I know that person. I know him. I know her. They are here right now. Every single day, we get to make the decision what we're going to do with this space that we have in between. We can choose to live, we can choose to be an exceptional being, and we can choose to live a life that one day when we are gone, people will say, I wish I knew that person.